So how are we going to pull this off? The tactical and what life is like now. So first of all, life is pretty awesome now, not being a slave to vices. It's pretty nice not having a care in the world rolling through a DUI checkpoint. If I ever was a degenerate criminal again, sure as shit I'm not one now. Sound familiar? There's no stress about, do I have enough beer for this or that, or have I had one too many for the drive? Things are also great with my wife now, and sure, we can still argue, but when we do argue, I know it's never one of those stupid, ugly, alcohol-induced arguments. You know the ones I'm talking about. And in fact, we've done our best to scale those down to disagreements now. It's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than it used to be. And it's nice being present, being an asset to my family and friends, and of course, it's nice being in great shape. It's nice being free to be me and not tugged in any direction by alcohol or anything for that matter. I'm just jazzed about being myself and exploring what I'm supposed to be doing in this world. These vices, they've been suppressing us. They trick us into thinking we need them. My light burns so much brighter now than it ever did when I had alcohol and all that other shit in my body and in my life. Okay, so back to our mission, getting ripped. I gave you some homework. Imagine yourself as a ripped motherfucker. I told you that this course goes hand in glove with my ultimate guide to becoming a new man after 40. And in the book, I have you search ideally for a bodybuilder that resonates with you or appeals to you in some sort of way. I also encourage you to get Arnold Schwarzenegger's Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding. First of all, it's exactly that. It's an encyclopedia, and it features lots of other bodybuilders, not just Arnold. So go ahead and order that and get yourself a gym membership while you're at it. But in the meantime, I want you to geek out a bit. Google the top 30 bodybuilders of all time. Between Arnold's Encyclopedia, Google, and YouTube, we need to find your guy. Somebody in this area will resonate with you, and some guys like Arnold are known for having like killer backs. Other guys like Tom Platz, aka Quadzilla, are known for their legs and so on. So have fun with this, and the next part is the difference that makes a difference. So
break yourself, fool!
When I first got on this path, I was pretty stoked, but kind of rudderless. And of course, you know, Arnold was and still is an inspiration to this day. But then I realized that there are plenty of other bodybuilders other than just Arnold. And I just kept looking around and tooling around because I was interested in getting ripped. And then I stumbled upon Frank Zane. Now, I didn't know what it was at first. You know, he was good looking dude. He had the body. He'd won Mr. Olympia 3 times in a row, actually beating out Arnold, by the way. I liked his vibe, watching him in his interviews, and he's still around today. And then it hit me. We're almost the same height. Arnold's 6'2", and Frank Zane is 5'9". That was the disconnect from Arnold and Dorian Yates and Lou Ferrigno. It's the height. That's why Frank made the most sense to me, and I didn't even know it. So pick a guy that is about your height. Stay with me here. There are champion bodybuilders ranging from 5'4" to 6'5", from all ethnicities that have already done the work for you to show you that it is without a doubt totally possible to get what they got. They're just waiting for you to find them. And here's where it gets fun. Once you've found your guy, you're going to print out a physical picture of his body with your head on top. What? Damn straight. Doing this or not doing this will have an insanely high probability on your success. Do it. Don't be a pussy. Commit. By doing this wacky, small, but profound gesture, you have just created the new character that you will be stepping into. And if you don't do it and decide that you're too cool for that, you're depriving your brain of its psychocybernetic target. It operates just like a plane adjusting from a headwind while on autopilot traveling from New York to LA. This isn't woo-woo hippie bullshit.
It's a matter of physics.
Well, it is science for sure. That picture will guide your brain in making countless small decisions day after day that will have drastic results in no time flat. What we're doing is tricking our brains into thinking that this is what we already look like, because we attract what we are. We do not attract what we want, unfortunately. So those corny positive affirmations like, I'm so glad that large sums of money flow to me frequently and easily, you'll notice that they are always said out loud, but also especially in present tense. That's with good reason, because that's just how this stuff works. So yeah, there's a smidge of fake it till you make it here, but it's backed up by science. Women and money run when you chase them. You want to attract the good things you desire in life. If you want good friends, you got to be a good friend. If you want more money, you can't be cheap. You got to be a giver. A closed hand cannot receive. If you're going to get ripped, the best, quickest, and easiest way is to act and behave as if you were already ripped. Remember Cary Grant's quote, I acted like somebody I wanted to be until I became that person. Get into character and simply do what that ripped motherfucker on your vision board does. You eat what he eats. You work out how he works out. Your moral compass points true north. It's simple. Stay in character. All right, so you've got your guy. You did this. You printed this out, right? You've got to do this. Now, do what he did. Geek out, study him. Arnold's not the only bodybuilder who put out a book. And of course, you've got YouTube. You'll find that all these guys are the same but different, really. They all have splits and special sets and regimens and so forth. And you have a brain. Beg, borrow, and steal from these greats and integrate their workout splits into your life every day. Spoiler alert, there's no such thing as a magic split, and something is always better than nothing. So, put something on the scoreboard every single day. And once we get your day figured out, you just keep stringing together perfect day after perfect day with no back steps. If we have to accept the fact that we attract what we are, not what we want, then we must operate in the appropriate frequency. Stay awake, because this is important right here. It's why getting ripped will absolutely change your life. So it's for this reason that you cannot think your way into positive action. You must act your way into positive thinking. This is why we do the early morning workouts every single day, whether we want to or not, whether we get laid or in an argument. It must happen. Why? Running and working out raises our frequency. Stay with me. Running and working out increases blood flow and oxygen in our brain and those other places. And it releases good feeling chemicals. So these days we're looking to get dosed on a daily basis. So let's talk about that for a second. Magic of editing. Dosed. All right, so we got dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. All right, these are the feel-good chemicals that our bodies and brains, they produce them naturally when we exercise. They all have specific functions and rewards. The catch is that we have to earn these things, and we do that through our daily workouts and or running, and that's the price we pay. That's us acting our way into positive thinking every single day. Editing. Cortisol, on the other hand, is a chemical that is necessary in our body, but not only does it typically require virtually no effort to produce, and it's easily triggered, kind of like a faucet that you can't turn off so well, so many of us produce too much of it too often, and it fucks us up. It's a fight or flight chemical, and with the lack of good stuff here, if we're constantly running on cortisol and none of the other good chemicals, then we are hosed. In that constant state of fear and anger from always watching the news and not being able to release all that cooped up caffeinated energy, you know that shitty feeling when your nerves feel frayed? Well, that's a ride on the cortisol train, but it's really running a train on you. It's a shitty state to live in and constantly operate under, and it's just holding the door wide open for basically inflammation, disease, and the more of the bad shit. This is where our addictive personalities will save us, because now we are addicted to hitting higher frequencies every day. Because we hit our daily workouts without fail, knowing this activity has us acting our way into positivity. Everyone has it ass backwards that we think our way into positive action. That's not right. We do these daily acts no matter how we feel, because even if we got perfect sleep and we got laid this morning, maybe we will feel better than neutral. So, you know, that's asking a lot. And the reality is we're pretty much going to wake up and leave the house somewhere south of neutral. Consistent daily exercise breaks those shitty negative thought patterns. You know, the ones like those imaginary arguments that you're having in your head sometimes? Now, let's check out this frequency chart. Again, stay with me. This is not woo stuff. This is science. Einstein talked about this stuff. You'll notice that these emotions have numbers attached to them. These are frequencies that I'm talking about. Does the old saying, are you on my wavelength, ring a bell? So if you're having one of those pointless imaginary arguments in your head, probably while driving to work, right? You're operating within the frequency or wavelength of anger. So, if you're not present-minded to realize it and attempt to snap out of it, for example, by playing your favorite song on the radio, you're going to continue to attract more stuff within the anger frequency. So you might unconsciously play that political podcast with your favorite talking heads telling you that the other side's coming for all your shit. Just turning that fucking screw tighter and tighter. So you might just attract another human that's angry also. That's also operating in the anger frequency that's close proximity to you. This shit is magnetic, all right? We talk about attracting all the good stuff. You're going to attract the bad shit too. Remember that we attract the things we want the most and the things we don't want the most. You really need to get to know this chart. Put it up next to your picture. Put it maybe wallpaper on your phone or something, because you cannot escape this. You aren't better than this. You aren't cooler than this. You must understand that. As sure as I'm standing here, you're going to be in one of these emotional states while you're awake. And knowing this will enslave you, all right? We got to run this thing, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to own this motherfucker. All right, when we open our eyes in the morning to just be neutral, that would actually be a blessing. The reality is that we will always have to work our way up just to be in a state of neutral. Do you get this? The first words out of my mouth every day are thank you, thank you, thank you. I learned that from the late Dr. Wayne Dyer. That's the best way I know to start the day, is choosing the first words coming out of my mouth. Do you choose your first words? So at the point we're working out or running, right? We're hitting the acceptance, reason, sometimes love and joy territory. All right, most Americans turn on the news every morning because, oh, we want to be informed, by golly. Well, guess what? The news is designed to piss you off and make you scared. It has an addictive quality. It's just another fucking drug. You know, Facebook, Meta, the socials, they're all designed to trigger dopamine. That's what gets you so jazzed, you know, when somebody likes your comments and your posts and shit. Your body doesn't just produce good chemicals when you're happy. It produces shitty chemicals when you're angry and afraid, grief and fear and desire and anger. They're what most of the poor bastards that leave for work every day operate in. So next time you go to the hospital, by the way, and hopefully you're just visiting somebody, but notice all the TV sets around. They're all blaring the fucking news. You can't plead ignorance now any longer. Now you know this frequency stuff is real, but as humans, our greatest superpower is having the ability to change our minds about things big and small. Please don't dismiss what I'm saying here. The ability to change our minds is our greatest collective superpower. A fucking snake can't change his mind. Think about the qualities that separate us from the rest of the animal kingdom. Sure, we're kind of like animals, but we can have a relationship with God, for crying out loud. If you're pissed off or sad, I'm not saying ignore it. In fact, I'm saying the opposite. Recognize it for what it is, acknowledge it, and ask yourself, how much longer do you want to sit in this state? This frequency, you know, I do it all the time. I still get pissed off just like anyone, but I don't want to make a spectacle of myself or be a buzzkill to those around me. Yet I gotta handle it, you know? So I'll be like around my wife, and if things not going my way, I'll be like, hey darling, look, I need to step around the corner here and be pissed off for about 90 seconds. I'll be right back. You know, the shit works, I'm telling you. And I'm not like some professor who's never cracked 6 figures telling you how to get rich. I use this stuff. I'm walking this walk here. I'm also not naive here. Look, bad things can happen to good people. Frustrating things can cross your path while you're vibing high. But these are the exceptions and not the rule. It's kind of like, yeah, you can still die in a car crash if you're wearing a seatbelt, but the odds are overwhelming that seatbelts save lives. So wear your damn seatbelts. And always be aware of the frequency you're operating in. Always, always, always. Besides, that's how you're tested. Who are you when shit doesn't go your way? Run to your strengths, not to your weaknesses. Real actual running when you're pissed off, by the way, is actually pretty fucking phenomenal, I'm telling you. This is why I'm so happy to do this video for you, because I can show you stuff that I can't really talk about in the book so much. For example, I know a couple, a man and a wife, and one thing I've noticed after 20 years of knowing them, that this is the state that they're operating in all the time. And I'm not judging them, I'm just reporting. They both work shitty jobs that give them no fulfillment, and they practically live in squalor. And get this, I've suddenly even seen them rise to the level of anger. And when they do, their anger is absolutely misdirected. They aren't even angry about how shitty their lives are and they want to make changes. No, they get angry about like what their relatives did at Thanksgiving or how crime is up in some part of the country that they'll never even visit. I mean, I'm pretty sure that neither of them have even been on an airplane. I bet you know people like this in your life. Screenshot this chart or Google it, you know, whatever you got to do. Write it out so it sticks better. You want to get it memorized or at least be very closely aware of it. You know, even drawing it out for me, it was like, ooh, I get the widening right here. You know, I feel like when I'm up, there's just so many more options. And when I'm down, I feel trapped with no choice. Well, that's expansion and contraction right there. Better mood, you get better things. All right? So we're humans and we can change our minds with purpose, on purpose. And no, you don't need to drop what you're doing and drive to the gym just to adjust your frequency. Let me introduce you to your new best friend, the prison-style burpee. It's basically a burpee without the jumping part at the end, because they don't do that shit in prison apparently. That's what Wes Watson says. This guy went to prison for 10 years over extreme violence and drugs, and today he operates pretty much on the very same style program that I'm teaching you. He now has millions of dollars, all the cars, cribs, and no vices. He's most definitely in the Always Rip Club. When you see him, you'll be like, God damn, I'm glad this dude's on our side now. He was a huge inspiration to me and millions of others to drop booze and drugs and choose getting ripped instead. Our message is universal because it's in line with God and natural laws. We just have different styles of communicating it. I mean, he'll straight up cuss you out. Me, not so much. I'll cuss around you, just not like at you. So anyway, back to your new BFF. The prison-style burpee, done just like this, will cure all that ails you. Pissed off? Burpees. Sad? Burpees. Nervous? Burpees. Those backsliding desires? Guess what? Burpees. I'm telling you, I do this shit all the time. And as a matter of fact, recently I was traveling with Laurie, and I didn't do a morning workout. She said, you know, you're kind of pooky and distant. And we'd been overeating at a family reunion is what it was, because I don't hold back at holidays. I talk about that in the book. I was like, yeah, you know, you're right. And so I dropped to the floor and cranked out 30 burpees right then and there. And I was right as rain. I mean, this shit works. Do it. But it's your secret weapon. The only way it's not effective is if you don't do enough. 30 not enough? Stack on 20 more. Just go to 50 then. Our daily early morning workouts are crucial. Don't rely on just coffee in the morning. Your hyper-caffeinated body is like, I got all this energy now. What do you want me to do with this shit? If you just sit there and start downloading news and the fucking Twitters, and it's just going to lead to various forms of inflammation in your body. Like, you know how your nerves get frayed? It's not happening to us. We are doing it to ourselves. And we repeat these shitty habits over and over, which leads to dis-ease. Do you ever stop to think about where words come from? Dis-ease. Keep it up and cancer is right around the corner. There's a reason why there's no cure for cancer. It's custom made by you, just for you. It's your own fucking cells turning on you. I'm obviously not a doctor and I talk in real layman's terms, but I'm not wrong about this stuff. All right. Time for some practical tactical. We keep it real simple here because simplicity succeeds while complexity confuses. The three pillars that we operate from are eat clean, train hard, and sleep well. We can geek out forever within these three pillars, and you're never going to know everything there is to know about any one of them, much less all three. And that's why you'll never get bored with our new lives. Isn't that right, though? All right, so train hard. All right, subcategory yoga, right? Does anyone know everything there is to know about yoga? Hell no. Yoga is for real. All right, remember that super ass kicker course called P90X? All right, there's actually a yoga section in that course. And you remember that wrestler, Diamond Dallas Page? He's rededicated his entire life to yoga. You can check him out on YouTube at DDP Yoga. Dude, do I have your attention? There's a whole new world out there and worlds within worlds. Think you know everything there is to know about surfing, volleyball, hell, pickleball? Which is the most effective chest building exercise? Bench press or dumbbell flies? Oh, are we talking about lower chest or upper chest? I don't know. Let's geek out and watch this guy, Athlete X. He's only got about 14 million subscribers. He might know a thing or two. Okay, girlfriend. All right, eat clean. In my book, I wrote about how onions raises our testosterone naturally, and Brazil nuts helps us keep our hair. I learned that from geeking out on Dr. Berg. I don't know, he's got almost 13 million subscribers. He might know a thing or two. This is fucking awesome, I'm telling you. And don't forget, never forget our third pillar, sleep well. Dr. Matt Walker is arguably the most famous sleep authority on planet Earth. He's all over the place on YouTube. You will learn stuff that you never knew before and get into making good sleep turn you into a Superman. There's also a dude named Sleep Doctor. These three pillars go with each other. Eat clean, train hard, sleep well. They feed off each other. They flow into one another. They're interconnected. They're spokes on your wheel. They are all three equally important and literally endless wells of knowledge for you to continuously dip your cup into. Over and over and over again without getting bored. These areas where we're placing our attention now fascinate us and serve us. Some of you will change your freaking careers over this and want to teach this stuff to others. That's what happened to me, as well as Diamond Dallas Page. It's kind of contagious. Hell, here's my old page called Radon Man on YouTube. Okay, more practical tactical. I was getting wound up there. So first, we wake up early every morning, 7 days a week now. We don't stay up late on the weekends anymore, even if we're not getting hammered anymore. An erratic sleep schedule will wreck you, while a regular, consistent sleep schedule will supercharge you. So in order to get up early, well, we just go to bed early. We don't snore anymore either. We fix that shit when we drop the booze and drop the weight. If you still snore, like actually I'm still prone to doing, keep working on it till it's fixed. Good sleep matters. I go into it more in the book. It's one of our three pillars for a reason. It's that important. So it's 4 a.m., but no later than 5. To get here from where you are, set your alarm back in increments of like 15 minutes every few days until you get there. This isn't boot camp, but take it seriously and keep dialing that alarm back till 4 if at all possible. So it's 4. We open up our eyes, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't think of a better set of words to kick off a brand new day. So we got a cup of coffee, gulp down some water. Now what? We read a little bit from from the greats. There are books, and then there are books that we were never done with. The early morning is bar none the absolute best time ever to get centered and enjoy being alone with the best parts of the universe. Do not go to fucking Facebook or any bullshit social media on your phone. We're communicating with the greatest minds that the world has ever produced here. Read, book, pen, highlighter. Go to books like the Bhagavad Gita, Think and Grow Rich, A Return to Love, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. They're all still in print for a reason. You got newer stuff like Robin Sharma. Actually, he's been around for like 25 years or so. And newer still, you got Atomic Habits by James Clear. What you want to do is consume high-quality philosophy and nonfiction when everything is quiet and still in your home. When you highlight those juicy nuggets, they're more likely to stick to you, or when you copy them down in a notebook or something. Someday you might wind up teaching it, and that's when you're really learning it. Oddly enough, in the book, I talk about community, and you might have heard that you're the average of the 5 people that you associate with. And books are the easiest way to elevate closer to the most superior minds ever. We live in an age when we can know virtually anything we want to know, but so many of us are confused and distracted, and that we can't even formulate the questions we want to ask, much less obtain and apply the knowledge. So the early morning hours will permit you access to universal knowledge in such a way it's just not really possible at any other time of the day. Believe me, I continuously try, but before the sun comes up, it's just plain magical, and it's the best time for you to grow. All right, we've got reading and reflection. Next up is meditation. No time like the present. It's quiet, so keep it going as long as you can, because the rest of the world will be up soon, tugging and pulling at you. Meditation to me is simply neither talking nor listening to anything for about 20 minutes, ideally early in the morning. And in the afternoon if I can pull it off, but always in the morning. When I found out that Jerry Seinfeld is a huge advocate for meditation, that's actually what tipped the scales for me to pursue it. It's for everyone, whether you're religious or not. That's got nothing to do with it. Now, get your ass to the gym, go for a run, or do both. They have kick-ass treadmills, ellipticals, and Stairmasters at the gym. Kablamo! When you get these simple things integrated into your life 7 days a week, you will be fucking unstoppable, I'm telling you. These simple daily activities that rejuvenate your mind, your body, and your soul, they will never get old to you. It's the same, but it's different every day. You're going to read and reflect every day, but it won't be the exact same thing. Me, I hop around from book to book randomly a good bit. Even the meditations will be different. Some days you'll think you touch the outer edges of the cosmos, and other days you'll have organized your week or your clothes closet in advance, But, thinking about nothing is trickier than, you think. So nobody's ever mastered meditation. The daily workouts are different too, because if you did back, biceps, and forearms on Monday, Tuesday will be leg day, or a significant run day in my case. So you're giving your arms and back a chance to rest and completely, rejuvenate. You're working a new set of muscles on the following day. You want every day to have a designated exercise zone, so you always know what to do. Having your decisions already pre-made in advance just sets you up for success. And by the way, here's a tip that I swear by. If you miss a day, don't beat yourself up over it. Look, you missed the bus, it happens. No worries, just catch the one tomorrow. It's best to always know that Wednesdays are designated for chest, shoulders, and triceps, and Thursdays always leg day, so just keep it simple. Trying to catch up will just overwhelm you. It's all good. Operating like this causes me to actually not miss too many workouts. Besides, if you just get yourself a set of 20-pound dumbbells, you can always put something on the scoreboard every single day, even if you're forced to skip the gym. First of all, I do want to acknowledge that I'm wearing a freaking Bloody Mary t-shirt, but anyway, the show must go on. Look, obviously we can take care of arms and shoulders with dumbbells. We can also do chest and legs too. 20-pound dumbbells to me are the perfect sweet spot Goldilocks zone. 2 are pretty manageable, but 1 pretty much everyone should be able to manage. After the workout, I always try to wait to eat my first meal till after the first morning workout. I picked up that tip from Arnold, actually. Just because my guy is Frank Zane doesn't mean that Arnold has nothing to teach me. We all have brains, remember? And when we do eat, it's a ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet is not a fad. I believe it to be the way that humans are supposed to eat, evidenced by, a few thousand years of human history. All the sugar shit products like soda and the shitty mass-produced white bread are recent additions to our diet if you zoom out to just, say, 2,000 years of human history, just for argument's sake. But we've been around a hell of a lot longer than that. Look, we try to eat keto unless there's a medical reason that you shouldn't. We eat clean. The Michael Pollan rule is, try to eat only stuff your great-grandmother would recognize. Real food, meat and veggies, sweet potatoes, simple. Not stuff that comes in bags and boxes with Smurfs and leprechauns and shit all over it. Did it used to walk or swim? Cool, eat it. Did it grow out of the ground? Cool, eat it. Operating from our 3 pillars is going to be non-stop growth for you. Under the train hard pillar, for example, just the other day, I picked up a kick-ass ab exercise by observing an elderly lady using one of those gigantic rubber balls. And I was actually, again, at a hotel and it didn't have any ab machine gizmos, and I saw her making the best of it. So cool, I integrated it in my workouts now. I never dreamed I'd run a marathon at age 49. And even though I'm pleasantly surprised at how far I've come, the good news is that the human body is incredibly predictable. If someone had dominion over you and commanded you to do 50 push-ups every single day, it would be impossible for you to not get stronger. Eating clean. It's fun cooking and eating real food. We just look at those little labels on the back of the food packaging a little closer these days. We're on the lookout for calories and protein now. For example, I wasn't born knowing that onions will naturally increase your testosterone. Oh, not the blooming onion, by the way, from Outback. It's fucking horrible for you. Found that out by geeking out. Also read that shredded Parmesan cheese in the bag is like the worst cheese you can get for yourself. However, Parmigiano Reggiano in the block form is arguably the best cheese on earth you can get for yourself. Or that Brazil nuts help you keep your hair. Geeking out. Have you ever played that hypothetical little game? If you could eat just one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? Sure, that's kind of fun, but by geeking out, we can ask better questions like, what is the very best food on planet Earth you can eat? So the answer is arguably lentils, by the way. You're welcome. Okay, so when we're geeking out like this, we're finding about what in the world is, say, the big deal about gluten, for example. We used to drink out the garden hose. Why is the gluten monster going to come get us now? I'll tell you why, because gluten is about mouthfeel when you look this stuff up, right? And it's the reason why pizza and pasta and breads are so fucking delicious. But the problem is that we don't actually process it. But a lot of folks, their bodies try to process it, and it causes these major inflammation and bad autoimmune responses that go all the way up to something called celiac disease, where they're hyperallergic to it. So you wouldn't think somebody's a pussy just because they didn't want to get near poison ivy, right? Well, now because we are curious and we ask good questions, we know what gluten's all about. And it's not just hippies being hypersensitive. It's actually a thing. By the way, the less of it we eat, the more ripped we get. Just geeking out within the 3 pillars. When you love it, it's not even work or discipline anymore. It's like, Eddie Van Halen figuring out all the crazy shit that could be done with a guitar was just him geeking out. It wasn't work to him. So like when you get into sleep like that, once you start getting good quality sleep, you'll literally become a superhuman. Sleep is the ultimate restorer. It's the ultimate rejuvenator. And just because you fell asleep and woke up does not mean you did it right. You've got my book where I really get into sleep and just how truly important it is. Prioritize sleep, especially if you snore. Sleeping in a separate bedroom for your wife is not fixing your snoring. Snoring is in sleep apnea territory, and sleep apnea can take you right up to Alzheimer's disease. Do I have your attention? I never dreamed someday I'd sleep with my mouth taped shut to force me to breathe through my nose, but that's what it took. Again, I'm not suffering. It was just weird the very first time, but it worked just fine for me, and it's like putting in my retainers now or something. It's no big deal anymore. You might get snoring licked once you drop the weight and the drinks, but for me, I've still got these gigantic tonsils, and I think that's what's been holding me back. It's been my trouble. Last few pointers on sleep. Shut off your TVs and computer screens and any other electronic gizmos about an hour before bed and dim the lights. Set yourself up for success in sleeping just as you do when you start your day. While you're lying in bed, read a fiction book. I learned this tip from Tim Ferriss, actually. 1, books are cool. And 2, escaping into a really awesome story will entertain you but not excite you. And so this is something that will help you escape in the coolest way possible. You'll find it very rewarding. Awesome. We have ourselves an empowering morning routine that sets us up for success, just like a golfer tees up his golf ball for the first shot of each hole. Why? Because he's allowed to give himself an advantage to begin each hole. Given the choice to try and hit the ball right off the deck or tee it up, the golfer will tee it up every time. We can begin every day and wind down our evenings with our own advantages. We've got early morning wake up after good quality sleep, reading and reflection with the greats, meditation, and then the workout. Now we're eating clean. We eat to lose fat and gain muscle. Our food is our medicine today, so our medicine won't be our food tomorrow when we're older. And the best part is we're not suffering in the slightest. Do you like chicken, salmon, tilapia, eggs, cheese? You like vegetables? You like ribeyes? Olive oil? It's all normal food. We know what to eat and when to eat it. I talk about intermittent fasting in the book. Basically, we're just placing a distance between our dinner and our breakfast. You know, great news is we compound our good sleep there to get the most out of it. Again, we're not suffering, we're growing. Hell, you get to sleep through most of it. Speaking of sleeping well, remember, we geek out here. Would an eye mask and earplugs maybe help you sleep better? Perhaps treating yourself to a new mattress. Sure, we're not all made of money, but maybe you can dip our toe in and say, get yourself a new pillow at least. Remember, rip motherfuckers, we prioritize sleep, and we're willing to invest in it just as we're going to invest in gym memberships, gym clothes, and shoes, and high-quality food. It's part of the 3 pillars, remember? When you get your picture on the wall, just so you can see it, you're looking at your head on the body you desire. This framework I've given to you will guide you towards stepping into that picture on your wall. Now, should you fall short of having the exact physique of the professional bodybuilder photographed at his peak, do you think you'll be better off or worse than now? If you shoot for the stars, you'll at least hit the moon, right? All right, you might be thinking, this stuff is great, Scott. Can't wait to get ripped. I almost forgot about the drugs, the booze, and the cigarettes I'm supposed to be leaving behind. See there, we've been so wrapped up in becoming ripped motherfuckers, we forgot about all that shit. It's already working. But I really hate bringing this stuff back up, but I'd be shirking my duties if we signed off right here. This is the perfect hopping off point. In this next video, we'll talk about hacks and tricks and methods, and the finishing touches that will really come in handy for you with your new life. So remember our 3 pillars: eat clean, train hard, and sleep well. There's plenty of fulfillment rewards when our actions are aligned with these principles. They aren't fads. They will never go out of style. You will never know all there is to know about these areas, so they will be forever intriguing to you. There is endless YouTube content that we can just edutain the shit out of ourselves in these areas. Okay, I'm getting all worked up all over again. Anyway, I'm fucking stoked for you, man. Welcome to the real life, and I'll see you in the next video.